Good evening. Welcome to this regular scheduled business meeting of the Summersville City Council on this 9th day of January, the year 2023. Welcome back. Councilman Stedman made a comment. See, I can't even pronounce your all's name.
Too long.
He made a comment that maybe we should go around the horn and introduce ourselves. It's been so long since we gathered, but I think we can. I think we're all where we can remember well enough that we'll just kick off the meeting here. But welcome back. Happy New Year. It was quite the holiday season, much to celebrate. I know I was blessed, got to spend incredible amounts of time with family. I hope you all did too. And of course, now it's time to put the seatbelt on and buckle up and see what we can make happen in 2023. So with that said, the first item on tonight's agenda is consideration of the council minutes of the meeting we held December 12th of 2022.
Move to approve and waive the reading.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Council, the motion was to waive the reading. Any discussion? Changes, amendments? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion so carries. Amy, public comment? Nobody for public comment. Okay, council, I'm going to kind of highlight the next agenda item, but it will not be approved tonight as we had a meeting last Thursday and we're still finishing up the final pieces of the application. This is a conglomerate of folks hosted by and spearheaded by Region 4 Planning and Development, our engineer, and our grant writer in partnership with Region 4, myself. We've been working diligently to get a great application put together, which we're almost at the finish line. I will tell you when it comes back before you on January 23rd, the grant application is going to be for $3 million, which requires a 20% city match, which will be $600,000. We always use our rainy day funds reserve that we have as reflection to show the match. But moving forward, right now we have out there pending a $3.4 million AML application that we're waiting on. Hopefully we'll hear sometime soon. This will be the second major application to go out. We feel real positive about. We've done our homework. We've actually been in contact some with the ARC folks. Trail development, as we begin to, and the first formal meeting will be this month on the, what I call the motherboard of the recreational complex. That meeting will come in at the end of this month, the first real meeting to start laying the facts out, and then I expect in February we'll have a public informational meeting on the recreational complex to really let the public know how it's all going to come together. The first piece of the park will be the build out of the trail system, and that's because of the money that seems to be out there right now is attractive to the trail system because you can sell that better as tourism than any other piece of the complex. So, and then the other thing that I'll be updating you about real soon is I've done some background work on TIF, which is considering to do some bonding on our coming tax revenue. When we went into the home rule, which we actually start collecting that the first revenue collection will start July 1st of 2023. So I would imagine that we'll put together a plan to shortly thereafter be able to borrow money, if not before, to give ourselves a real boost on the build out and construction of our park. Those monies ideally would be used for infrastructure to get us in, get the the water, sewer, utilities, roads, so on and so forth. So a lot of exciting, a lot of moving pieces, and it'll be this month now that we'll finally, in a real serious way, be able to engage the committee. So the ARC grant will be back before us for approval on January 23rd, and stay tuned because I'll keep you updated piece by piece as we move forward on the entire project. It's going to be an incredible project. Estimates are now, it's a moving, the needle moves all the time due to the current economic situation we're in, but easily we're looking at about a $20 million project from start to finish. Estimates, rough estimates right now, so you can see that we've got a lot of work to do, from start to finish. But it's going to be an incredible, and we're going to build a first-class, state-of-the-art, second to none park that will number one, be a major benefit and seller to Summersville and our greater community, Nicholas County. Furthermore, it's going to do some wonderful things for us from an economic standpoint as well. So we're in first gear, and we're definitely going to start shifting gears and move through that project. So any questions, council? Okay. Again, that was our only agenda item tonight, so moving right along, recorder's report.
Mayor, it's just a real busy time in the office with B&O due. We're very, very busy on that. Leading up to that, we've been working on tidying up a lot of folks, and we've been doing really well with that. The group here, I got to give some kudos to Carol and Dee Dee and Cookie, just doing a fantastic job, and Amy's such a big help back there too. So we're moving in a real good direction. I think collections are going to be a lot better this year than years prior. I'm going to be moving into, on February 15th, actually the 14th, I'll be going down to some meetings with the mayor. But on the 15th, I'll take a 5-hour seminar, just so that you know. I'll have a 5-hour seminar on West Virginia municipal elections. This is the election year, so it's creeped right up on us. It's amazing. It's already 4 years, but we're there, and we'll head in the right direction there on February 15th, so I'll get some training on that. I want to point out January 16th is our next P&Z meeting, so tune in if you'd like to that. And if, like I said in the last meeting, or maybe the meeting before, if council has any ideas or any suggestions on direction in regard to, if there's anything out there that you're hearing some things that you'd like planning and zoning to address or to look at, please don't hesitate to give me a buzz and let me know. We'll get you on an agenda immediately. Other than that, I think we're moving in the right direction.
Okay, great. Mentioning planning and zoning, I don't know if this item needs to go there, but what I would request that you put on the fast track is annexation of the 128 acres that the city bought. So, you know, I'm kind of aware of what that process is at the 500-foot level. So, certainly, if we could get that on the fast track and get it in city limits, that would be awesome. On top of that, the other thing I'd like to do is just capitalize on what you mentioned, the training you're going to go through to be able to run a city election, which, by the way, is a required training. Somebody from the city has to attend, and Gary's going to attend. On my notes, mayor report, what I'll move into right now, the actual city election this year is June 13th. And the filing period, and this is for mayor, recorder, and all city council seats, takes place from February 6th through the 18th. So it's kind of a little bit later this year, and of course these dates are all set by the state. So June 13th is election day, and filing opens up February 6th through the 18th. Okay, council, I want to inform you the operation and maintenance contract of Summersville Hydro changed ownerships on January 5th. Our new maintenance operator of Hydro is LS Power. I did do an exit interview with Hull Street CEO Todd Wynn. As a matter of fact, we've had a lot of correspondence here lately on various issues. I have met one medium-level manager of LS Power, but I still have not met the leadership of, well, I guess he's part of the leadership, but I haven't met the CEO, and there's a lot yet to be learned on LS Power, because I understand that they retained the operators and the leadership and management over the operators, which many of you are aware and know personally. Beth Harris, she's been retained, but it's real interesting because she does not work for LS Power. They actually contract all that to another company. So I'm still kind of hazy about all that. I've not really had a sit down with them, which is to come soon, to really get myself wrapped around exactly how it all works now. But last Thursday, it was official. Todd Wynn called me and told me that they did close. So the new company is LS Power. Council, I want to talk to you about February 13th, the council meeting. I will tell you that I'm putting you on notice right now that that first meeting in February will be canceled. In the need to have a meeting, what I will do at the next meeting is announce that that meeting will be held on the Wednesday. I previously checked with city attorney, and I'm totally within legal ability to do so. If we do the correct publications and so on and so forth to let people know that we're moving a meeting. Probably never more serious than ever. The Municipal League Midwinter Conference takes place on the 13th and the 14th, and both Gary and I will be there. You know, we have been given some serious heads up on the legislative agenda this year, and it's going to be very challenging for cities. As a matter of fact, I'm going to try to keep you all as informed as possible, and I'm going to ask that you please make calls to our local legislators. The biggest ticket item that we've already been given straight heads up that they're going to try to do away with is City B&O. And the door was opened up last year when auto dealers got to pull out the new car sales. And so now everybody and their brothers knocking on the door in Charleston saying they got it, we want it. And let me just give you an example, and I've attended regular meetings as I am on the board of directors for the West Virginia Municipal League. Just to give you, to summarize, and let's just go to the biggest city in the state of West Virginia. The biggest city in the state of West Virginia, if the legislature were to do away with B&O tax, that would hit Charleston, the city of Charleston, with $42.2 million in their next fiscal year budget. Okay? And so at the very next meeting, I may come out with a resolution that we pass. And you know, the city of Summersville, I've crunched the numbers, and what it would put us in a bind with real quick is about $800,000. Because remember, we just did some forgiveness because we passed the home rule. The legislature's kind of running on the ideology, or you know, the think tank process. By the way, home rule's been in effect since it's been 15 plus years. The pilot cities got in that many years ago. I myself have been to Bridgeport and visited with their mayor, and they were in the pilot program because actually some of the build out we're going to do on the park, we're going to use our revenue the same way they did. One of the things that I think is super challenging to our legislature, if you look across the state, there's a lot of great things that are happening in the state of West Virginia, but a lot of those great things are municipality driven. A lot of the economic development and economic growth, and you know, a lot of the great things that are happening across our state, I mean, I'm not saying that it's all municipality driven, but I can tell you that there's a lion's share of it that is. That would be devastating. You want to talk about a setback in this state, eliminate B&O tax. And then of course the real thing comes to, if you take away revenue, how do you replace it? So Amy Goodwin put out a really good thing. As a matter of fact, we had a meeting, I lose track of all these meetings, I think it was last week, and right before our meeting, because we actually passed, the board did, of the Municipal League, passed a resolution, hopefully encouraging, challenging the legislature to let us have a real seat at the table, negotiating the way forward with B&O. But Amy put out basically a resolution herself. That's where actually I stated you wrong. It's $45.2 million in their fiscal year 2023 budget, and then come to find out, they are already a home rule city, and that revenue, which is their 1% sales revenue, that tax revenue that they're generating, is about $19 million. So you can see, if they're telling you to pick one or the other, they got to give up $20 million or $45 million, and it's just not going to work. And then when you look at the struggles and challenges that the bigger city's going to have, you can just see how devastating that would be to them. And so we are going to, myself and Gary at the Midwinter Conference, and myself especially, already have. I'm going to take a front row seat in battling that we've got to have more sense about this. You couldn't even raise the tax enough to make up some of the revenue that the big cities would be losing. So anyway, it's a real quagmire. I will do everything I can to keep you all posted. As a matter of fact, I plan to have another update the next meeting. Session starts this week, you know, talk about putting your seatbelts on for this ride. This could be a real ride. So I will keep you all posted, but there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We need to be in Charleston because that's our legislative time with legislators, myself and Gary, helping fight the fight to maintain the B&O tax. Anyway, I'll figure it out. You'll know next meeting if it's an agenda item that we move. I will tell you that we're going to make up a meeting in March because we set the budget. So there is a makeup meeting coming around the corner. But obviously, if we need to have a meeting, I will, and it'll be Wednesday, not that Monday the 13th. So just kind of an unofficial notice right now. There will not be a notice on February 13th. Let's talk about the Summersville Police Department. The police department's adding a canine dog. I got the chief here tonight. If you have any additional questions when I get done with this rundown of the police department, feel free to ask. That's why Jay was planning on being here anyway, but I told him to be prepared. We will add another canine to the police department on April of this year. The handler of the dog is going to be Adam Hinkle, Officer Hinkle. The dog is, him and the dog will be trained, and the dog's in training right now. We have purchased the dog. It was purchased out of drug forfeiture funds by the police department. And for the record, the dog cost $10,845. And that's for dog and training. So we will welcome the dog on the 20th, or April. I put April 23, so I keep wanting to say April 23rd. But no, it's April of this year. We actually put the dog on the force. Then let's move on to a vacancy in the police department. We're down one officer. We've been down one officer for quite some time. Technically, this is the second round for trying to fill that vacancy. The first round was, of course, going back to the well of what we'd done the last time because we did have a selection of an officer. No, we didn't have a selection of the officer, so the ones we didn't select, they went back and reworked this time the one they could work. They're still not a qualified individual, so now it's been put back out for advertisement again. This time they brought 5 applicants, 1 certified applicant, and talked to the chief today, and I think they did the physical fitness test today. So that's in the works, but I will remind you, council, that the $10,000 bonus is still on the table if we're fortunate to, if the process selects the certified officer. The last thing I want to say about the Summersville Police Department, as promised to you all, and I've been very public about this. As a matter of fact, those of you that were able to attend the city Christmas breakfast, I made it known to all of the city employees. The chief and I have started a comprehensive review of the Summersville Police Department compensation package. That comprehensive review, as soon as Jay and I get done doing our homework, we will take to the leadership of the police department. And again, we're looking at all angles, all different ways that we can do, and what this review in the initial stages has brought to our attention, that the surrounding areas that we compete against, some of them have stepped up, and so we may be lagging a little behind. But again, just so you know, being very transparent here, that review is underway, and as soon as we come to some conclusion, after we meet with the leadership and resolve some things, or just come to, where can we go and what can we do, and you'll see, interesting enough, we looked at bonuses across the state last time, and there were some serious bonuses out there. We're looking now and they're even higher. So, obviously the profession of the police department is going to be a challenge for many years to come, and to me that's just indicative of where we are as a country, respecting law enforcement like we used to, law and order. It's not where it used to be, and I only pray that we get back there. Okay, so that's the police department. Anybody got any questions before I move on? You got the chance to ask the chief.
Jay, the dog you all bought, is it a lab again?
It is a lab, chocolate lab female.
We got a name?
Pardon me?
We have a name?
I'm not sure about that.
Actually, it's funny you would ask that, because I was wondering, does Hinkle get a name that, or does the dog when you buy it have a name?
The dog will already have a name.
It already have a name. I didn't know how that worked. So we don't know the name yet?
No.
Okay.
Apologize.
Okay, council, in a real exciting way, the Summersville Building Commission has successfully closed on the properties that went up to auction, whatever day that was last year. I will tell you that we put in the bank $15,620.53 for the lots that we sold in Terra. And this week, they finished the closing on, last week. I lose my weeks. This is Monday. Last week, they closed and finished out, and we banked $339,850 on the Jones Hole. So both properties have successfully been closed. And what I want to do at this point in time, I want to thank our building commission, our chairman Fletcher Harold, Don McKenzie, and Tom Toller. Again, that's volunteer work. Those guys had a lot of meetings, and it's incredible, and that's what makes this city so wonderful is, you know, when people step up and make the wheels on our bus go round and round, and those guys have certainly been champions to help us out. So thank you to the Summersville Building Commission, and it's official notification we've closed on the properties. Just another note, I was notified a couple weeks ago by Chantel that they are closing their Summersville office. There will no longer be a Chantel office. Chantel was kind of confused. They thought they were in city limits. They're not. They're out of city limits, but they still wanted to make sure that I knew they were closing. They actually, I think, closed shop January. And basically, in the conversation that I had from their manager, from their home office, they had very little traffic of people paying bills in that office, and it just no longer made economic sense from their standpoint because of the low traffic. Everybody pays online and all those other means. So, basically he indicated to me that that's why they closed the office. So the office has been closed effective the beginning of January. Fire fees, council, I don't know if you've heard or you got any constituents in the, out in the county.
Oh, yeah.
There's been some challenges with the fire fee. What I will tell you, I myself had a meeting with, not a meeting, a phone conversation with the county commission today. Actually, the county commission president and the 911 director, Homeland Security, John was on the phone with him, and we've got some snags even from the city, but they've assured me that in short order we'll get them worked out. And what I mean is the ordinance is out, and there's some language in this ordinance that was, quite frankly, I just finally got a hard copy of it last week, and there's some language in this ordinance that's concerning to me relative to how we get our money. And, from the get-go, I always said, first of all, and I don't parch any words on this, the reason we have a county fire fee is because the city of Summersville stepped out and built that first county boundary. A fire fee for the county is necessary. It's what's going to save the fire departments. More importantly, if people think that little fee they pay as a fire is horrible, lose all those county fire departments and don't have fire service in this county, and go to Protection Class 10, call your insurance company tomorrow and say, hey, what happens if we don't have fire departments and we're Protection Class 10? I guarantee every piece of property in this county would be double minimum when you go from a protected class like some of these fire departments have. City of Summersville, City of Richwood, even the outlying departments have pretty decent protection classes through ISO, and when you lose that and you go to 10, I guarantee you all insurances would easily double, property insurances. So the fire fee's minimal, and more important than that, it's life and safety of the people that live in this county. We would never be attractive as a county for anybody to come here and live and or do business if we didn't have fire service. So As tough as it is, and I know there's a lot of issues with the county, I feel without any reservation that they'll get all that worked out, and there were some snags, however they happen, whoever they, everything. Even when we first put ours out there, we had a few snags in it too when we first started billing the county. So I encourage people to work with them. We've got slews of people that are rolling in here thinking it's our fee. It's not. It is a county fee. You need to go to the courthouse. It's funny. I was in here the first day back to work, and there was a line in the lobby. When I realized the line was all fire fees, it's like, no, you're all in the wrong place. You need to go to the county. So I have no reservation. The county's committed to working this out. They're going to work out the snags in the ordinance. I did tell them that the only thing I would be happy with is the language in the ordinance to be changed, because number one, I always won't be mayor. Number two, they always won't be commissioners, so it's not going to be a gentleman's agreement that we're going to do this. It's going to be the ordinance that dictates how we do business. So anyway, if you got any spare prayer moments, pray for the county and their fire fee, because I understand they're in some deep challenges. The other thing two more things I want to talk about here real quick. The next thing is tomorrow at 12 noon, T&T Outdoors, which is the new gun shop that's in the Field and Stream business on Webster Road. They've got a ribbon cutting tomorrow at 12 noon. That ribbon cutting kind of hits to the heart of the city of Summersville, because Tim Hypes, who is the second under Gus at the city street department, it's his son and his wife that actually own that. So I'm hoping we have a good show for them, and we thank them for bringing that good little business to the city of Summersville. Myself, I haven't had the opportunity to drop by. I will tomorrow, but those that have said it's a pretty neat little gun shop, so a neat addition to the city of Summersville. The last thing I want to talk about, council, and I want to pass these down to you, and probably got a man here that could better talk about this than me, Councilman Halstead. Wayne, if you want to take this over about the celebration.
You really caught me off guard.
Council, this is pretty exciting, and I'll go ahead and run down it because I did catch Wayne off guard. But this year is the 100th celebration, the centennial celebration of Brown Oaks. And I am extremely proud of the Brown Oaks Board of Directors and their executive director, Bill Anderson, because they have set out a year calendar of something happening every month to celebrate the 100th year birthday of Brown Oaks. This month, I just want to highlight that event. It takes place on February 11th at 1 p.m. and it's a cupcake decorating that will be taught by none other than Nellie from Creative Cakes. Of course, we all know Nellie does a super good job, has a business in Summersville as well. But Council, I wanted you to all have this brochure. What a first-class brochure. The Brown Oaks was purchased by the city of Summersville in the year 2000. Of course, it is placed on the National Registry of Historic Places. Today, the house and grounds is available for rent for business and private use. I will tell you that they have worked overtime and have really turned that thing on a dime to open it up and made a lot of great things happen. The house is available for showers, parties, dinners, meetings, or photo sessions. The carriage house is available for workshops, children's parties, seminars, and craft sales. Last year, I believe, was it last year y'all added the side porch where you can close it in? Last year they added, they set it up now where the side porch can actually be closed off and used year-round. So that was a great addition to increase the square footage of the house. So Council, I ask you to please look down through that list of activities and do all you can to participate. And then, of course, I want you to notice that on August is the actual 100th birthday celebration. Whether you're on this body of government and or a citizen of this city, please think about participating and honoring the hard work and dedication of the Brown Oaks Board of Directors and their executive directors. So with that said, that concludes the mayor's report. Let me get back to the agenda here. Any council reports?
Mayor, I'll just reiterate what you were talking about. The first event that we had for the centennial was on December 31st, which was called First Breakfast. And We had about 40 people there, and it was great food. I mean, it was just a typical breakfast after a hard night of party.
Yeah, and that breakfast was served from when to when? What did it say in here? It was served from 10 a.m. to what, midnight?
Uh-huh.
No,
1 p.m. From 10
10 p.m. to 1 p.m.
1 p.m.
To 1, yeah. Or to 1 a.m., yeah. Or did you go to 1 the next day or 1 a.m.?
It was 1 a.m. the next day.
Yeah, 1 a.m., okay. 10 to 1, so.
And we actually got to use the side curtains that night, and it really does make a
Okay, good.
difference.
And you had about 40 people, that's good, yeah. So they marketed it as, come after your party and have breakfast at Brown Oak, so kind of a neat deal. So, very exciting, and again, you talk about another board that just bends over backwards, and a lot of volunteer hours is the Brown Oaks board. Anything else, Wayne?
No, that's it.
Okay, thanks for giving us that update. Okay, no other council reports. I'd entertain a motion to move into executive session. I've got 2 quick items, council.
Hey, Mayor, real quick.
Yes.
Heard a lot of good comments about the Christmas decorations in the city over the holidays. And send kudos out to you and all the staff here.
I'll certainly pass that along. And there was a lot of, yes, Jim, I will pass that along. And I also want to thank, this year we had an unusually high participation from residents and businesses as well. So, yes, and I will pass that along.
And also the city grants are due on February 28th, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think is that a good day? Because I didn't bring that note.
I think it is.
Yeah, they're up. So you can get your applications here at City Hall. When you come to get an application for the city grant, the instructions for the deadline will be, with the application. Or you can call City Hall and they'll actually email you an application. Thank you, Jim. Okay, a motion to enter executive session.
So moved.
Got a first?
Second.
The second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We'll give just a couple minutes here for chambers to clean out.